What if one man's wealth was so vast that a single journey reshaped the economy of an entire region? Imagine arriving in a foreign city and spending so much gold that prices collapsed, markets were thrown into chaos, and the effects lingered for more than a decade. It sounds impossible by modern standards, yet history records exactly such a story. But the greatest mystery isn't how rich this ruler was. It's how he built, used, and ultimately transformed that wealth into something far more enduring than gold itself. A foreign king arrived in Cairo and spent gold so freely that he triggered a decade-long economic depression. It took the region's markets more than 10 years to fully recover from a single tourist spending spree. His name was Mansa Musa. You've likely seen the modern headlines estimating his net worth at hundreds of billions of dollars and labeling him the wealthiest human being in history. There is a massive problem with those headlines. The Mali Empire left behind exactly zero surviving 14th century treasury ledgers, bank accounts, or reliable tax records. We are going to audit the reality of this fortune. We will look at exactly where all that gold came from, how he actually spent it, and why focusing on a modern dollar equivalent obscures his real historical impact. A specific dollar figure matters less than the mechanics of the wealth itself, how one man possessed enough capital to devalue a regional economy before using what remained to secure Mali's place in the memory of global trade. This map illustrates the staggering scale of the Mali Empire in 1312, covering territories spanning modern Senegal, Mauritania, Guinea, and Mali. It sat directly astride major trans-Saharan caravan routes, creating a strict geographic bottleneck for merchants moving goods north and south. By controlling these routes, Mali dominated the era's two most valuable commodities. They controlled access to southern gold-producing regions and the northern deposits of salt, a mineral so valuable in the 14th century that it was regularly traded pound for pound against gold. At its peak, historians estimate this empire supplied nearly half of the entire world's gold. Musa held an absolute structural monopoly over this universally valued resource, cultivated over generations. In 1324, Musa set out on the Hajj. For a devout Muslim, this pilgrimage to Mecca is a religious obligation. The logistics of moving his group were staggering. Contemporary Arab chroniclers describe a traveling party of roughly 60,000 people. Any honest accounting of this journey has to include the fact that this massive number comprised thousands of enslaved individuals, forced to carry goods and serve the royal household across the Sahara. Funding this operation required a massive mobile treasury. Accounts detail rows of camels carrying hundreds of pounds of gold dust and solid ingots each, a concentration of wealth that shocked every region the caravan passed through. When the procession stopped in Cairo for 3 months, Musa began spending that gold with zero apparent discipline. He bought goods at whatever price local merchants asked. By injecting that massive supply of gold into the local market so quickly, he triggered severe hyperinflation, devaluing the precious metal across the entire region. By the time he was ready to leave Egypt, Musa had actually depleted his traveling treasury. The ruler who had just flooded Cairo with gold had to take out a high-interest loan from local moneylenders just to finance his trip home. Even when you control half the world's gold supply, an undisciplined spending spree can still result in a severe cash flow crisis. This brings us back to those modern estimates, placing his net worth at 400 billion. Those numbers are essentially guesses. They rely entirely on second-hand accounts, combined with flawed conversions, applying modern gold prices to a 14th century economy. We cannot independently verify a specific dollar amount. What we can verify is the macroeconomic impact. The fact that a single tourist's personal spending measurably disrupted a foreign nation's economy for over 10 years is the documented proof of his wealth. Beyond the immediate economic crash, that spending spree in Cairo functioned as a massive diplomatic broadcast. It exposed the previously invisible wealth of West Africa to merchant networks stretching across the Middle East and Europe. Word spread so effectively that Musa permanently shifted global geographical awareness. Decades after his journey, European cartographers literally inked his portrait onto the maps used by global explorers. The most important phase of his reign happened after he returned home. Instead of hoarding his remaining reserves, Musa strategically deployed his capital, importing prominent Andalusian architects and Islamic scholars into his territory. He used this expertise to build Timbuktu into a major intellectual epicenter, funding the construction of mosques, libraries, and the scholarly institutions that would eventually form Sankore University. The gold Musa gave away in Cairo eventually evaporated, but the mosques and universities he commissioned created a scholarly hub that outlasted his reign by centuries. He left behind infrastructure that proved far more durable than his gold reserves. History often remembers Mansa Musa as the richest man who ever lived. But perhaps that isn't the most important lesson. Wealth can disappear. Gold can lose its value. Markets recover. What truly endures are the institutions, knowledge, and ideas that survive long after the fortune that created them is gone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next documentary.